Welcome students to the third module of chapter number 3, Chemical Reactions. In this module, we will be learning various types of chemical reactions: decomposition reaction, displacement reaction, double displacement reaction, endothermic and exothermic reaction. Also, we will discuss the factors that affect the rate of a chemical reactions. Let us learn decomposition reaction. For this, let us do some activities. Here, as you can see in activity A, take some sugar in a test tube and heat it with the help of a Bunsen burner. After some time, you will see the formation of a burned out black substance. Exactly what must have happened in this activity? Here, in this activity, a single reactant, sugar, is divided into two substances, C, carbon and water. So here we can say a single reactant is giving rise to two products. Let us do one more activity. Here in the activity B, you can see this we have already studied in the previous standard that water gives rise to hydrogen and oxygen gas on passing electric current through acidulated water. This reaction takes place by means of electric energy, therefore it is called as electrolysis. Here also you can see a single reactant, water, is giving rise to two products, that is hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. Let us do one more activity to understand decomposition reaction better. Now here, as you can see in activity C, take some calcium carbonate in a test tube, fit a bent tube to this test tube with help of a rubber cork. Insert the other end of the bent test tube in freshly prepared lime water taken in the other test tube. Heat the powder calcium carbonate in the first test tube strongly. The lime water will turn milky. Here we saw in this activity that calcium carbonate gets decomposed and carbon dioxide gas formed turn the lime water milky. And the second product of the reaction, the calcium oxide powder, remains behind in the first test tube. Similarly, in the other reaction here, hydrogen peroxide naturally undergoes slow decomposition into water and oxygen. So, in activity A, B and C, we have seen that a single reactant is giving rise to two or more products. Such reactions in which two or more products are formed from a single reactant is called decomposition reaction. Many degradation processes takes place in the nature surrounding us. Organic waste is decomposed by microorganisms and as a result manure and biogas are formed. Organic waste is the waste obtained from plant and animal. Biogas is used as a fuel. Formation of biogas from organic waste is also a decomposition reaction as it took place with help of living microorganisms. It is called as biological decomposition. Let us learn displacement reaction. As you can see here in the picture, when a strip of zinc metal is placed into a copper sulfate solution, a reaction immediately begins as the zinc strip begins to darken. If the strip is left in the solution for a longer period of time, the zinc will gradually decay due to oxidation to zinc ions. And as you can see, the solution, the color of the solution, copper sulfate solution, blue color also gets disappear. So here, from that, we have learned that the Zn2 plus ion formed from Zn atom take the place of Cu2 plus ion in copper sulfate, and Cu atoms formed from Cu2 plus ion come out. It means that Zn displaces copper from CuSO4. As zinc is more reactive than copper, zinc displaces copper from its solution. Such reactions are called as displacement reaction. Let us define displacement reaction. The chemical reaction in which the place of a less reactive element in a compound is taken by another more reactive element by formation of its own ions is called displacement reaction. Let us see some more displacement reaction. Here in reaction A, copper sulfate reacts with iron to form ferrous sulfate and copper. Here, iron being more reactive than copper displaces copper from its solution to form ferrous sulfate solution. In reaction B, lead being more reactive than copper displaces copper from its solution to form lead sulfate. Let us learn double displacement reaction. Here, as you can see, sodium chloride reacts with silver nitrate and a white precipitate of sodium silver chloride gets formed. Now look at the chemical equation of this reaction. Here, during the reaction, ions in the reactants get exchanged with each other to form the products. and one of the product is also formed in the form of PPT, that is precipitate. Here sodium ion combines with nitrate ion to form sodium nitrate, and silver ion combines with chloride ion to form a white precipitate of silver chloride. Let us see one more reaction. Here potassium chromate, which is yellow in color, when added to the solution of barium sulfate, a new compound called barium chromate, which is a yellow precipitate, gets formed along with the product potassium sulfate. Here also the exchange of ions takes place in the reactants during the reaction. Potassium ion reacts with sulfate ion to form potassium sulfate, and chromate ion reacts with barium ion to form a precipitate of barium chromate. Such reactions in which the ions in the reactants are exchanged to form a precipitate are called as double displacement reactions. Let us learn endothermic and exothermic process. First we'll discuss endothermic process. The process in which heat is absorbed from outside is called as endothermic process. For example, melting of ice. We all know that when ice is kept open in the surrounding, it absorbs heat from the surrounding and it starts melting. So such processes are called as endothermic process in which heat is absorbed from outside. On the other hand, the process in which heat is given out is called as exothermic process. For example, formation of ice from water. When the water is placed in the freezer, the water slowly loses heat to the surrounding cold air. The water molecules, on losing energy, begin to move slowly, come closer and pack close enough to change to ice. In this process also, the water releases heat to the surroundings. So, it is an exothermic process. Dilution of acid using water is also an exothermic process because in this process also tremendous amount of heat is given out. That's why it is always better to add acid to the water while dilution, because when we add water to the acid, lot of heat is liberated and water evaporates quickly and it may cause a serious accident. So as this is exothermic process, for safety always we add acid to the water while dilution process. We have learned endothermic and exothermic processes. Now let us learn endothermic reactions. The chemical reaction in which heat is absorbed from the surrounding or has to be supplied continuously from outside is called endothermic reaction. Let us discuss one example, that is decomposition of calcium carbonate. When calcium carbonate is heated strongly, it decomposes into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Now here for this decomposition reaction, heat is supplied from outside. Therefore, this is an endothermic reaction. Let us know about exothermic reactions. These are the chemical reaction in which heat is given away when reactants are transformed into the products. Here is one example. Calcium oxide reacts with water to form calcium hydroxide, and during this reaction lot of heat is liberated. As heat is given away in this reaction, we say this is an exothermic reaction. We see various types of chemical reactions in our day-to-day life. For example, resting process. It will take several days to complete the rusting process. An iron article get rusted when get come in contact with oxygen and water, but this process is very slow process which takes several days to complete. Weathering of rock means breaking of big rocks into smaller rocks, then the smaller stone, and finally into the soil. This is also a very slow reaction or the process. It may take several years to complete. Baking soda react with acid very vigorously. Its reaction gets complete within a fraction of a second. As soon as you add baking soda to the acid, immediately you can see the effervescence of CO2 coming out. So this is very quick reaction. It can happen within a fraction of a second. Formation of curd from milk takes several hours. This reaction is also a slow reaction. It may get complete within hours, within some hours. Therefore, we can say from this example, we can say that some reactions are completed in short time, that is occur rapidly, while some other reaction require long time for completion, that is they occur very slowly. It means that the rate of different reaction is different. The rate of reaction is the speed at which a chemical reaction takes place.